Alright, so today I'm just going to do this as a test video. I'm going to be speed painting this Final Faction hoverboard. I really like this hoverboard. It's got a lot of detail for what it is. It's just a little accessory, but it kind of reminds me of the Back to the Future kind of stuff. And I just really like its lines and its designs. So I'm going to put a little bit of a military look to it. This is just going to be trying to get back into the swing of trying to make a YouTube video. I haven't done one in a while. YouTube's making it really difficult to make videos, and I just had a lot going on, and haven't had time to really do anything but work and work out in the yard, things of that nature. So, but it's a rainy day. I kind of want to get back into doing some of this stuff. So I'm gonna put just like a green on here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Let me see if I can get this a little tighter. These paints I'm using are pretty old. They're like from when I first started doing YouTube videos back in 2006. So I'm not exactly sure how great they're going to be. There's a little bit of text on here, and I don't really want to accentuate that, so I'm not going to paint that a specific color. I'm just going to get in here. Paint some of these accents with this green. Let's see. I'm just adding a little bit of water. This paint's pretty thick. I'm going to put some paint on these wing tips here. Let's do a little bit on these side wings. Boop. Boop. Just like that. Let's flip it over and see what we got on the other side. Boop. Let's get this on. I've got 3 videos that I really want to make after this one. I really want to keep going with the Star Wars stuff that I started earlier. I got a bunch of Star Wars figures, and I just want to do some random repairs to them and give them some accessories and fix some of their paint wear. The other video I want to do is I have my Billy Bob robot that I got from Chuck E. Cheese back when I was working at Chuck E. Cheese, and I drug it out of the attic a while back, and I posted it up on an animatronics Facebook page, and people kind of went pretty crazy over it because it's a home built job, but it's I took a lot of really some of the best parts out of the 3-stage show, put together my own custom robot, and he looks really cool. I need to do some repairs, and I was thinking about selling him. I'm not really sure at the moment if I want to sell him or if I want to keep him, but I certainly want to do something with him. He's just sitting there. He's been rotting in my attic for like 20 years, and I want to try to do something with him. Okay, so on these 6 little veins here, I'm gonna put a flame effect in, and I'm gonna start with this red. I want to get in there pretty good with this red here. Oh, you can't. This is difficult to do. Like I said, this is a test video because I'm looking in the camera to see where my camera angle is and if I'm holding this shit right. Oof. Alright, that's the red. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. See, it's still wet. I'm trying to speed paint this, so I'm not going to really let the paint get super dry, unfortunately, because I'm just trying to knock out something on this. Now, before I started, this was like a gray color, gray plastic, and I base coated it with flat black, and I really wanted to use my Citadel spray paint, but I couldn't figure out where I put it until after I'd already got it base coated. This is just some super cheap, like, discount spray paint, but it's flat and it works, and the thing's from the dollar store anyway, so as well. I'm not gonna water this silver down. I want to kind of give this a quick dry brush. Let's see where we go from there. I want to get that. I want to get these little tubes here. Jesus, I'm shaky. I haven't painted minis. This is the first mini I've painted in a couple years. And so, not as steady as I used to be, and it wasn't that great before. I'm getting red in there. Let me try this again. Let's see if we can avoid hitting the red. With this kind of stuff, you don't really need to be the greatest painter in the world. What you want to do is you want to let the detail of the model do the majority of the work for you. Like, see all these little ridges and stuff? You want those to be your guide. And just let your brush hit over the tops. Let me flip this over. I'm going to do the same thing to the top here. I'm just going to run my brush over the top of this guy. Let me see if I can't get... I'm trying to get this thing in frame and paint at the same time and look through the little viewfinder. Let me flip this viewfinder over. There we go. That's a little better. That's too much paint. Let me rub some off. Hit this guy. I think this needs a little bit more color. I think I may have to drag out another different shade of green to kind of give that a little bit more depth. Now I'm not sure if these are jets or if they're weapons, but I'm going to paint a little bit of blue accent on those just because. Let me grab a different color green here real quick. That'll do. Alright, so this is Kelly Green Apple Barrel. I mean, I basically, most of the paints I use are just craft paints. And people are kind of weird, kind of funny about their paints, but it's like I've been using this stuff since I started. And I'll get a Citadel paint or something really nice for certain things. Like if I want, like I think Nolan Wash is one of them, or really nice gold. But for the majority of the stuff I do, it's like, I don't give a crap. It's like, I've had miniatures and stuff and painted them just fine. And they still look good today. The only difference is the amount of pigment you get. Sometimes the pigment is a little more dense in the higher quality paints. But for general purposes, it's fine. You know, you can have the best paints in the world and be a really shitty painter, and you're not really going to get anywhere with it. And you can have the shittiest paints in the world and be a really good painter, and you can do amazing stuff with it. Or you can be like me and be a medium painter and just have medium paints and get the job done. When I was in the Navy, I had a buddy of mine, and he was ugly as fuck. Oh, excuse my French. He wasn't the most attractive looking dude in the world, but he always had a date with them. He always got a date with all these girls. And he taught me two things. And that is, you gotta have shots on goal, which means you don't get a yes if you don't ask. So we would go into a store, like the gas station, and he would ask every single girl at the gas station to go out with him. And as soon as one said no, he'd just move on to the next. And move on to the next. And eventually, somebody would say yes. And it's like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And then, the second lesson he showed me was he never spent money on girls more than he had to. And now I don't take this into account. My wife might be listening to this, so. But he always said, the dime I save on this girl is a dime I can spend on the next. And, well, it may not work out great all the time. It did show me, like, you know, you can get middle of the road results as long as you're getting there. You know, there's a lot of arguments back and forth, like you get what you pay for, and you gotta spend money to make money and all that kind of crap. But you know what? I'm just a big, that's, you know, it's just like these models here. I mean, this is a dollar store model, and it'll get you there. You know, you don't have to have the coolest, most awesome thing. You just got to find something that works. And I'm really kind of impressed with this series. I know people have been doing a lot of Final Faction stuff right now, and I kind of like got super into it, and then I watched everything Final Faction until I kind of got a little burned out on it. I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this crap. But I still like the models. I still like the sculpting on these. I think I'm going to redo this in this color here real quick. So, there we go. So far. Man, this is really difficult to get that angle in there. So already, compared to just plain old gray plastic, we've already got it looking pretty decent. I mean, it's a little muddled, but from far away, you know, there's what you call tabletop distance and up close distance. And most of the time, you want it to look awesome from when it's standing on a table. And then but if you pick it up and you get like real close, it might not look as great. But that's not our goal, is to get it that close. We want it to look cool from an average distance. So we've got some of our dry brush. We got some of our color. Let's see. What's the next? It's still pretty dark. I'm not super happy with how dark it is. But it's still pretty black. I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this orange on. This is just orange. It's just called orange. And Joanne Fabrics. I don't even know if they still have Joanne Fabrics or not. But I'm not going to mix this down. I'm just going to barely come in here. Oh, God. Come in the middle here, right over the top. Getting a little bit of that red on there, but see, I'm just kind of blobbing it in there. No big deal. Let's blob a little more in. Boom. Okay, we're gonna let that get a little dry. I'm just mixing up some paint here. Now we've got deep ocean blue, and I'm gonna hit the tips of those jets with some deep ocean blue. I'm not going to knock this down any. I'm just going to pop the end here. Pop the end of this one. Boop, just like that. And flip it over. A little deeper. There we go. I know I got it upside down, but Jesus, I'm shaking. So there we go. Got that. Now, I said it was a little too dark, so I'm gonna fix that with a little bit of brown here. We got, oh, this is antique gold. This ain't what I want. This ain't what I want. I want some brown. Let's get something else. Here we go, I got some raw sienna. Now this is going to simulate some mud. I'm going to simulate some mud here with this. Let's try something else. And pour it on this palette. Maybe. Oh, jeez. Damn it. Y'all can't see that, but I just spilled it all over in this palette. I didn't get anything thick out of it. That is not thick enough. Let's see if I can get some thick shit out of here. Jeez Louise, come on now. Alright, well, I'm going to do it this way. So, I want to just kind of get around the areas that I think it might have mud. I'm going to put it on the leading edges here a little bit. I want to kind of get some down deep in there. I'm trying to get a little bit. There we go. There we go. That looks where you would be standing. Get a little mud on there. Let's flip it over here. Now I've got some little bit of better color on this. There we go. Get some on the leading edges here. Boop. Ba-doop. There we go. Now I got a party. Let me rinse these two brushes out here. Before I forget, I forgot and put some blue in my brown paint there. Kind of, that happens. Okay, I think I want to put a little bit more silver on there, but before I do that, I'm gonna put my final stage of my flame effect in with some, what do we got here? I think, oh, this is moon yellow. I thought it was sun yellow, but it's not, it's moon yellow. And I'm just gonna get a little bit out of the top here. And I'm going to just go right over the top here. Just a little. Oh, I actually want like a pretty good thick glob. Let me see if I can do this without fucking this up. I'm just going to, just like that. Just like that. Uh-oh, getting some red in there. It's still wet, so... I don't want to get a little bit here. Let me get some on my palette so I don't mess up my nice ball of goo. Let's see, hopefully it doesn't do the same thing it did to the other one. There we go. There we go, that's nice and thick. I want to pop that in there. in. Rub that out. Boom. Rub that out. Let me do this one. Right here. Oh yeah, there we go. Right in the middle. That's pretty much it. That's enough of jacking that up. Alright, it's still real wet. I'm doing this in real time. I'm not waiting around. So, there's the top side. You know, there's the bottom side. There's those blue rockets again. Alright, so to finish this off, I got some Minwax wood stain here. Now this is, I usually use water base, but I'm just using some acrylic base here right now, because that's what I have laying around. I was going for the water base and I grabbed the wrong pot. I'm like, oh well. Let me find a trash brush. So, because I don't want to mess up my real good brushes. I just want to use something pretty crappy. So, I got this. It's like, you know, some 10 for $1 crap brushes. And I'm just going to come in here. Since this is really dark already, this may not help. Oh my gosh, that's too dark. Oh my gosh. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. That's okay. Then you dry it off. Hopefully. I'm going to dry it off. It's a little darker than I'd like. I usually dip these models in and then pat them down, but this thing is wet. I don't want to do that, but you get the idea with the wash, how it's going to bleed in there, look a little better. And let's see, is there anything else? I do want to, I'm going to hit this again with some silver. And I may even dry brush it with a little white. Let me hit that silver one more time. Silver. Don't think I got quite enough silver on there. Let me kind of pop it with it. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. Pop it with a little more silver. Ah! That's all right. That's what happens when you rush. We gon' fix it. We gon' fix it. Boop. It's fixed. And give a little more color to those side pods. A little more silver here. Yeah, I just don't like how black it is. There we go. Now we're talking. That's good. That's good. That's good. Black covers up a lot of mistakes. That's for sure. But too much black and it starts to look not as great. You want it to kind of pop. So we're gonna fix it. I can't see from the angle, so let me flip it around here. Yeah, see, I got a little bit of blue right here, so I'm gonna kind of hit that. Okay. That's the one thing, if you get, oh, I just broke that. Look at that. I just broke that off. That's what happens when you let them sit around for 20 years. But I do want to fix this. It's a little too dark. I kind of screwed it up with that wash. I do like the wash, but I definitely should have waited to let it dry. Like I said, this is just a for fun project. I got some green right here. This is my palette. I don't know if y'all saw my palette, but I'm even working out of this little dollar store palette. The other thing is, with these videos, is I'm trying to do them all in one shot. I had to stop putting music on these things because, God, it's like people just go through and they just run a program and see if they can bust you on copyright strikes. And it's like, I got one copyright strike on a video that was like 10 years old. It was like from my early days. And they copyright struck it. But they were claiming that I copied a song from 2020. And it's like, how is a 10 or 12-year-old song copyright striking a 1-year-old song? But, you know, that's the way they do you around here. I also slipped a couple swear words in this one on accident, but hopefully I don't get some kind of strike for being inappropriate or something. And my editing software really sucks nowadays. I used to have really awesome software back in the day, 2006 and 7, and it doesn't work on these new computers, and the new software is just terrible. And so the less editing I gotta do, the better. Because it's like, nowadays they make stuff like with too many options. I don't need all those options. I don't want to spend 20 hours editing a 20-minute video. But here you go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Here's my Final Faction hoverboard. It looks a little bit of like a clunky mess, but I mean, from far away, it's going to look pretty awesome. You know, when you get it down on display and people are looking at it on a shelf, that's going to look really good. Especially that backside, it's got lots of color. And that's it.